just found out about it. They said register
And
at
what-
portal.km.com.
And those are what, regular updates on?
On Keller Mortgage, yes,
Okay.
so they should be sending these emails, and that should help. Portal.km, Keller Mortgage, km.com.
It says that it's not found.
Portal, portal.km.com?
Yeah.
Okay, then let me figure out, so you're saying that's not working. Let me get the details and I'll send it out to you guys, because I plan on sending it out to everybody anyway. I just thought you'd be the first to know.
I think that's a home run, I think, for our database people that you're reaching out to is that, hey,
Yeah.
you know, have you thought, that's a good way of getting some loyalty.
Well, and the question is, are you, do you need some financial, as we're heading into potentially what we could be heading into, this could
Monthly
financially be of
savings.
assistance to you,
Yeah.
okay?
I think it's portal.kellermortgage.com.
Oh, you had to spell it out?
Yeah,
Did that work?
yeah, I just, searched it on Google and that's what came up.
Okay, see if that works, if that works.
Portal
let me
dot
know.
what now?
Kellermortgage.com.
So you gotta spell it out,
Mortgage spelled out?
Yep,
and Keller,
yes.
okay, did that work? I'm gonna go in and check it out today and I'll show you guys how to do it, but,
Guess that right.
Nicole, this is Tom, can you hear me?
hey, Tom!
Hey, quick question.
Yes.
Just from my former financial days, is that kind of not construed as financial advice? Or are you allowed to do that? Or you're just,
You know what, I don't think so, I mean, you're recommending if it works for you, if you haven't refied in a while, you might wanna look at it, I'm not telling you you have to, I'm just telling you, why would you not if the great interest rates are great? Yeah, so, I think it's how you phrase it, and I think it's a good question. I think if you're just saying, hey, this is something that we offer through Keller, because you know me, you have access to Keller Mortgage, it's a zero cost loan, and you get $1,000 at closing. If that's something that could assist you with your interest rate, let me connect you with one of the loan officers, right?
okay,
So,
alright.
I think it's just
Just curious.
helping, I wouldn't say that would be giving advice. That doesn't feel like giving advice to me. Yes, you'd have to consider that on your own, everybody runs their business differently, but I just feel like if I can help people, check out this option.
Can you tell them that they get $1,000 instead of?
Yes, they get $1,000 at closing as long as the loan's $150,000 or more. Yeah, and that helps with their closing costs, right? Because a lot of people don't think about that when it comes to a refinance, but there are closing costs in a refinance, right? Because there's title and escrow and all those fun
They
things.
use a personal link,
Hmm?
personal link to have people go through Keller Mortgage.
In there?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So we'll explore that a little bit more. I literally found out about it at 8 o'clock this morning, so. Some of this stuff is hot off the press. I don't have all the details yet. All right, so let's get started. So today we're gonna be talking about setting up your database and feeding it. Now, here's the thing. We already know what successful agents do every day. Lee, will you tell me how to grow your business?
You lead generate for buyers and sellers, make seller listing presentations and get listings, make buyer presentations and get listings, and preview real estate.
Excellent. I think that's get buyers, but
Make buyers.
I'm like, I
And
think
get
that's
buyers.
get buyers. I'm not sure. I'm like,
I was like, you can get listings.
Write your business. Morgan, will you read those to us?
Market seller listings, show buyers houses, negotiate contracts, transaction management to closing, vendor management, set goals, compliance, risk management, attend training and get coaching, and manage money.
Very good. So that's what we do every day, right? Are we successful agents? Are you working on these activities?
Yes.
Then you are. Even if the dollars don't show it yet, right? We all start somewhere. All right, so today we're gonna talk about lead generate for buyers and sellers. That's gonna be our focus today, is lead generation in the database. All right, so what is a database?
List of potential buyers and sellers.
List of potential buyers and sellers, very good. What else? What's a database?
Contact,
List
Contacts,
leads.
leads,
potential referrals, referral people.
okay, good. So that's a database. A well-tended database produces leads. A powerful database managed by a powerful schedule produces a predictable flow of leads. And from a predictable flow of leads, you can expect a predictable flow of business. Does that make sense? So a database is actually a living record of business relationships. Okay? It also helps nurture and manage relationships. So this is where the email and those conversations come in. Produces a predictable flow of business and improves service and strengthens relationships. So, do you all have a database?
Yes.
Do you all have one? Yes. Do you know how many are in your database?
Yes.
Know your number. What's your target number? Know your target number. Know where you're at, know where you're going. It's the same thing as having a map, right? Getting on the road. If you were to get on the road and I go drive to Hana, it's not that hard, but if you've never been here and you didn't know how to get to Hana, you wouldn't have a clue, right? So know what your map is. And your map is your actual activities that generate more people to add to your database. Does that make sense? So where's your database at and where are you looking to grow it and by what date? And how do you break that down? Your coach can help you with that. Awesome. Okay, so what is a database? What is the purpose of your database?
Cultivate leads.
Cultivate leads, yeah, for sure. What else?
To nurture relationships.
Yes, nurture relationships. Thank you, that's a very important purpose of your database. So what makes a database valuable?
When they know who you are.
Yeah,
The
that's
truth,
exactly
though,
right.
right?
When you have a relationship, there is then value in your database. Because I got news for you. I can give you a database of every name of every single person who owns any property on the island of Maui. Is that worth anything?
No.
I mean, you can go get that from any title company you want. Is that really worth anything? No. But if you had a relationship with 1,000 people on that list, is that relationship really what's worth something? Does that make sense to you guys? Like, if you don't have the relationship, your database worth nothing, right? That's why we have you import the people that are in your phone, because our assumption is you've had a conversation, so you probably have a bit of a relationship at that point, right? Make sense? All right, so what other industries do you use a database for prospecting and marketing? Great question.
Almost everyone.
Everyone.
Yeah, give me an example.
Give you an
Specific,
example.
yeah, specific industry. Give me an industry.
The beauty industry does.
Yes, it does. And what does the beauty industry then do with it?
Pretty much the same thing, because most people in the beauty industry run their own business.
Right.
And they work with their clients direct.
Yes,
They lead generate their own too, so.
exactly. And so they communicate with that database,
Yeah.
right? Give me another industry.
Hospitality.
Hospitality, yeah. Absolutely. Hospitality reaches out.
Travel.
Travel, yes.
I was thinking the credit card industry. I mean, it's amazing. I get a fifth of my mail every week seems to be credit card
Right.
solicitation.
Right.
I don't think get my name.
And you gotta shred every one of them, so nobody
I
gets a
don't-
credit card name, right?
Yeah.
Unless you want them, but yes, absolutely, credit card industry. What else? Okay, so what is one major industry, you kind of touched on it. What's one massive company that has a giant database?
Facebook is a CRM
Okay.
of gigantic
Facebook.
proportions.
Thank you. What else? Think of massive companies, like the top 10 companies in the world. What is the top retail company in the world right now? Amazon. What's
Oh.
Amazon's database look like? Woo, right? You all said it. Oh, geez. Like, Amazon knows to ship me toilet paper, like it is scary, right? I mean, like, they have so much going on. They know so much about us, and they're using AI. And we're doing those same things in Keller, which is awesome. But you see the power? Like, they have that massive database, and I don't know about you guys. Do you guys buy from Amazon?
My wife does. I
Right?
Every day.
We got another box. My
I know.
husband goes through and he's like,
I-
what was this Amazon order? I'm like, I don't know. I have to go on Amazon. I don't know what I buy. I get a bunch of stuff, you
My
know?
role is breaking the cardboard boxes down and putting them in the recycle.
Right, there you go, right? There you go. Okay, so what makes targeted marketing effective? Let's talk about that. Targeted marketing. What's the difference between regular marketing and targeted marketing?
I think the targeted marketing kind of makes you feel a certain way. people will buy off of feelings or,
It's giving people what they're asking for.
Okay.
It's specific to your goals.
Yeah, I like all these answers. This is exactly what targeted marketing is, right? It's specified to you. So let me ask you this, if you're a small business and you're running a database of 400 instead of 400 million like Amazon, and how do you stay in touch and know how to target market? How do you know? How do I know what to target? How do I know what properties to send you? How do I know if you're interested in looking in an area? You ask.
Yeah.
That's why our phone, Amazon's not calling me, right? Because I'm one of 400 million, not one of 400. Your database is one of a smaller base, so it has to be touched on a personal level. Does that make sense? And people are craving personal connection right now.
I keep thinking of this word, the words needs and desires. If you focus on what are people's needs and desires,
Yes.
then now you have a captive audience, because people love sharing their needs and desires.
Yeah,
And if you can help meet those, then you're an ally.
so true, so true. Become an ally, I love it. All right, so let's talk about the 3 levels of a millionaire database. First question, can you become a millionaire real estate agent without a database?
It'll be difficult.
You can,
If
you
sell
actually
one
can.
Property that's like, millions of dollars.
You can become a millionaire real estate agent without a database. It is possible. Here's what I will tell you. It's
Probable.
way harder. So look, I'm not saying, because the reality is you're working on the now business if you're not working on your database, right? You're working on just what's right now and what's ready right now. There's no future, right? It's just right now. So let's talk about the 3 levels of a millionaire database. So what are the essentials? Marcy, give me the essentials.
name, contact info, past business and past contact record, at-will communication.
Okay. You guys understand that? Follow along? Okay. So, name, contact info, notes that they've bought or sold in the past, right, from you. Contact record, and at-will communication. Pretty basic, yeah? Okay. So let's go, so that's essential. You can function from an essential database. Now, here's the thing I want you guys to understand. As you go through each step, does it become a little easier to create a millionaire real estate business? That's the whole point, is that you can function from here. You can function with no, you can
Yeah.
function at 0. It's possible to still create a millionaire database. What we're talking about is this is essential, right? This is effective. Okay? Jim, what's effective?
Obtain permission, collect personal information, insights and preferences, segment and group based on 1 through 6. Purposeful and consistent communication.
Okay, so let's talk about this. Obtain permission. Give me an example of a script to obtain permission.
Everyone's signing in at the open house.
Perfect. What's another one?
Just asking if it's okay for me to send you emails.
Perfect. It's not that confusing. It's okay if I send you my app. Like,
Yeah.
it's just normal conversation, right? I just don't want you guys to get totally caught up in that. It's like, just obtain permission, no big deal. Collect personal information, insights, and preferences. Talk to me about that. What does that mean?
When they tell you, hey, I don't like this, or hey, I absolutely love that, you want to note that because you're not going to remember when you have a database of 4,000 people.
That's
Exactly right.
Yeah, that's where the Ford acronym comes into play for me, family, family occupation, recreation and dreams, because those are all topics people love to talk about.
Right. So, okay, let me ask you this. If somebody tells you how many grandkids they have, would you write it in your notes?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Are you
Absolutely.
kidding?
That's a big
How are
deal.
those 7 grandkids of yours going?
Yeah,
You actually listened the last time I was talking.
yeah.
I listened and I took notes because my brain would never remember all this information. I got a pug named Charlie. Does that go in your notes? Oh yeah, that's like people's babies, right? Like, gather personal info too, like stuff that, you want to connect with people on a personal level.
Yeah.
How's Charlie? I had a couple, they were going on vacation for their anniversary the weekend that I talked to them. Oh yeah, I put that anniversary in there, call them every year, happy anniversary. Oh my gosh, it's so sweet that you remember it. Like their kids don't even call them on their anniversary, right? They're just like, they just think that's the coolest thing. Why not? Create relationships, right? All right, so segment and group based on 1 through 6. Here's the thing, I don't care how you segment and group, that's up to you. They're talking about using the 1 through 6, which is like basically when we talked about the ABC group, you know, you're creating relationships with your database, right? So you may not be, 1 through 6 doesn't have to mean necessarily when they're gonna buy, but 1 through 6 can be, like for me, I do 1 is the low number, 6 is the high number, right? So when I have somebody who's referring me like crazy to everybody else, they would be a 6. They may never buy, they might be renters, but they're talking about me all over town, they're my rating fans, so they get the high ranking, right? Like, wanna keep that relationship really nice and strong.
Absolutely.
So they're just saying somehow group your database, right? Get an idea of what your database quality is like by some sort of grouping system. Doesn't have to be a 1 through 6, it might be an ABC, it can be a 1 through 10. I don't care what you use as long as it works for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think referral network is so important because
So important.
the statistics show that the hottest potential buyer or seller is one that's been referred to you.
Yes, it is.
Uh,
Because someone else told them you were awesome. It
Yeah,
wasn't
you've already
you
been,
telling
you've
them
already
I'm
been,
awesome.
they've already been sold by somebody that they trust.
Exactly. So let me ask you this. A friend sends a friend to you, as somebody you didn't know, and says, hey, I want you to talk to so-and-so, they're looking at buying or selling. Do you send a thank you card to the friend who referred them after you close escrow, or right when they send them to you?
Right when they
They're
send
gonna
it
send it
to
to
you.
you.
Thank you. It is not their job to close your clients. It is your job to close your clients. Thank the positive activity. Oh my gosh, no card, like right away. Thanks for thinking of me, that was awesome. You know? Let me take you to coffee, when are you available? Like,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, okay,
And a gift at closing,
yeah,
instead of a present at
we
closing.
can do that too. I always take them out, because I feel like, because we do have laws about what we can give,
Yeah.
right? So I always take them, I'm like, look, now we're going to dinner, and it's gonna be nice, because it goes that escrow, right? All right, purposeful and consistent communication. So here's the thing. When someone says to you, I just bought a property, and you go, what, wait, I'm supposed to be your agent. Whose fault is that?
Yours.
No,
Why?
you didn't follow up.
You didn't keep the consistent communication. You'll hear from agents all the time, well, they know I'm in real estate. No, they don't. Their life is busy. They are wrapped up in their stuff. They're not paying attention to what you're doing. Oh, they see my Facebook post. No, they don't. They got 500 friends on Facebook. They don't see your stuff. Like, or 5,000. I don't even know what the max is. You know, understand that you got to stay in communication with people. Because you are not the first thing on their mind unless you stay top of mind. Does that make sense? Super important, you guys. All right, let's talk about exceptional. John, what does that say?
It says automated custom communication built around triggers.
Yeah, you guys know what the other word for that is?
Command.
Buzzword?
Eventually, AI.
Yeah.
That's artificial intelligence.
Oh.
That is something that's new for me coming back into real estate is, I mean,
Changes.
people are getting
Right.
texts from me that I'm asleep and emails.
And I know, and you're
And then
like,
you just wait till they reply.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now you're hooked,
it's
so.
pretty crazy, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's nuts.
So, this is the
And
thing.
you're not alone.
That's automated, right?
Indeed.
Custom, think about this, custom communication built around triggers. Okay, so for those of you that haven't watched the 36 Touch with Zach Younger, he tells a story, I love this story. AI is, we call it creepy and cool, right?
Right.
AI is creepy and cool. Do you guys realize that Netflix knows when you have a bladder infection?
What?
Yeah, right? This is the creepy part. It knows how much you normally pause, so if you pause an extra amount, it usually makes the assumption you're going to the bathroom a few more times and you might have a bladder infection, which means it could actually trigger it to send to your pharmacy information to
Oh
make sure
my
they send you a
gosh.
coupon for bladder infection medicine. Creepy, right? I'm sorry, that was a little creepy for me. I was like, okay, creepy. and yet kind of cool. Because it even anticipates my needs, and it's something that will actually help me, right? So think about it this way. So this is what is coming in command. We are not there yet, but I want you guys to know that this is what they're working on. So you have some Sally Smith in your database. Sally Smith has a baby. Well, guess what one of the triggers is often for buying in a bigger place? Children.
There's a change.
So it's gonna then trigger a marketing command, a marketing system around a little heavier communication with Sally because the trigger of her having a baby registered it to do more things. Don't think Amazon isn't already doing all this stuff with you guys.
For sure.
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one thing that Netflix does is that they say, hey, we thought you'd enjoy this, you know, based upon, it's a match, how, the type of movies that you like, and I go, oh, that's, you know, and then it catches my attention.
And you
I
like
have-
'em.
I have to look at it.
And then you're like, and then you watch one and you like it and you go, Amazon, Netflix knows me.
I know.
How cool is that, right? And then you're triggered to make a phone call, and you make a phone call to that person, they go, we were just thinking about house. And you're gonna seem like the coolest real estate agent ever. A little creepy, yeah, but everybody's doing it, so cool too. Like anticipate my needs, help me out, right?
I shop like my daughter online. It's just an addiction I have, and it just freaks me out how my feed of everywhere I go, all of a sudden it starts throwing the things that I
Ads
was looking
follow.
at me. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
the ads follow.
I'm especially how I found out that I had a dog. I was so careful not to go anywhere on the internet about getting a new puppy.
And they
And
figured it.
it's still, and all the ads of puppies started.
Do you have
I think
Alexa?
I do.
What is it? Somebody goes, wait, there was a joke. Hold on. I'm so bad at jokes, you guys. I'm just gonna tee it up, I'm so bad at jokes. But it was something to the effect of, husband asked the wife, do you use Siri? And she goes, no, because Siri's always listening, and Alexa laughed. I mean, it's like you're always listening. So I'm like, that's originally why I was like, I don't know Alexa, man, that thing's always listening to me. And every once in a while, we're not talking to her, and she will randomly talk to me, and I'm like, oh,
That's what my
creepy.
sister said, she turned hers off.
There it
Because,
is.
yeah,
So it's
she said it
interesting.
would randomly turn on by itself. I'm like, oh,
You know, I'm like,
sorry.
I don't say anything that's not exciting anyway.
Yeah.
All right, so why use a database? Let's talk about this. So we want to avoid the today trap. The today trap is only working on today's business, right? Remember this graph? We want to communicate with people when they're on all levels, right? So then when they get to today, you're not competing with anyone else because you were the one that was there for me the whole time. You were the one that called me during that coronavirus thing and said, are you okay? Like you, I like you, we actually have a relationship, right? Versus you just call me when it's been 7 years and you go, would you like to sell your house? There's a difference, right? Build a relationship. Predictable ROI, do we all know what ROI stands for? Yes, perfect, return on investment. We want to always have a predictable return on investment. Hey, Miss Pam. All right, so there are two types of business, today's and tomorrow's. Without a database, your business is built only for today. You guys are getting that, yeah? Awesome. Tom, you're following along, right? All right. Why do we use a database? That's 100. You don't need it. That's 100. All right, so here's why we use a database. So let's say we have 100 people in our database, right? How many of these people are going to buy or sell at some point? 65. 35 are gonna rent for their whole life. It's not gonna be visible for you. That's just how it is, right? That's just, now, they still know people buying and selling, right? They're not gonna buy and sell. That's okay, but they still know people buying and selling. So I'm not saying they're not worth a relationship.
Is that the national average, 65?
About 35%, I think, of people don't just rent their whole lives. So that's just probably based on national average. All right. This right here is today's business. It's 7. I've actually heard it as 6, 7, somewhere in between there. That's actual today's business. I'm interested in real estate at this point. 6 out of 100, about 6%. Okay, this has 7. We're gonna go with 6 because it's value. All right, so the thing is, if you're only dealing with today's business, you're talking to 6 people, not the whole 100. Does that make sense? When you're speaking to all of them, You're working on tomorrow's business. Now, if we're not nurturing our database, how many of these 6 or 7 are gonna actually come to us when it's time to buy? If we're not nurturing,
Maybe one.
right? Therein lies the problem. So if you have a database of 400, and by your second year in real estate, you're only closing 4 or 5 deals, you may not be staying on top of your database because there's definitely more going on in there. Does that make sense? Yeah. And I think the reason they're doing 7 and I'm saying 6 is it's actually, they're saying the average is somewhere between 7 and 10 years, but it's stretching more toward 10 when people, the lag between the buy and sell, the lag between the 2 tops in the chart. So that's 6.5. There's no such thing as a half person. All right. So we want to be focusing on all of them. And we want to be their realtor of choice, whether it's for them or the people they know. And the more you build that communication and that connection, the more effective you are, right? That's why it's 80 conversations for a new agent to get an appointment, and it's only 20 to 25 for an existing agent, because they've built relationships with these people. All right, to take advantage of a predictable ROI. So do you guys understand that for every dollar you spend in any business, you're looking for a certain ROI? What would be a metric? Do you guys know what a standard metric of ROI is that you want to get in any business? Like, what's your return on investment? If you spend $1 on marketing, what do we want to get back? 3. That's a great metric. That's what most people will say. And if you're not getting at least 2, stop spending it immediately, right? You need to be getting at least 2, but 3 is a great metric. That's what we want to be getting. The reality is a database is worth closer to 10 to 1 or 14 to 1. So in other words, if you hand me $100, your database is going to give you back somewhere in here a minimum of $1,000. It is your most valuable way to spend money is actually on your database. The databases aren't expensive. And if you're following the 36 touch, it's really just the quarterly item of value, which is like a magnet or a, could even be a CMA, right? Super inexpensive, even if you're doing mailers. Now, when they're talking to Keller Williams people, a lot of agents, I think the highest database number they've seen is a 44 to 1. That means you give me $100, I'll give you back $4,400. I don't know about you, but I'd do that all day long. Like, yeah, that's a really good return. But even if you're in this ratio, this is great when 3 to 1 is literally what we consider successful as business. We all following along with that? Make sense? Okay. So consider, it is possible to get much more with repeat and referral business. Your database value goes up as you're in the business longer because why? Why does the value go up?
More referrals grow.
Grows by referrals, stronger connections, right? That's the value of your database. Just remember that. All right, so why use a database? 3 important considerations. Marcy, will you read the first one to me?
Lowest lead cost, the cheapest customer acquisition strategy is to work with existing customers and people who know and like you.
Yeah, makes sense, right? Lee, would you read the second one?
Lowest operating costs, when properly built, you maintain a database will eventually end up producing its own leads in the form of repeat clients and referrals. And it will also have the lowest conversion cost.
Yes. Most millionaire real estate agents, you look at them and that's it right there, repeat and referral. Usually right between 65 and 90% of their business because they did it from the beginning strong, or they did it at some point strong. All right, 3, it pays for itself. A database makes it easier to do consistent follow-up. And when you're good at consistent follow-up, the resulting leads will end up paying for themselves. So let me ask you guys this. When we did script practice on Friday, you guys did a lot of script practice, right? You sat in the room. I mean, you did it for a good 45 minutes probably. Did you feel better at the end of that 45 minutes than you did at the beginning of that 45 minutes? Did you guys feel like it was like you felt a little touch maybe 1 or 2% more confident? Could we agree to that? So if you did that for 100 days, you'd be 100% more confident?
Yeah.
Fair assessment?
Yeah.
Your database is the same way. The conversations are the same way. You're just going to get better and better. Does that make sense? Alright, so develop your database. Alright. Prospecting and marketing. So we wanna feed it consistently, segment it into groups, engage it with a touch plan, and tend it over time. Alright, so we can get immediate results. We wanna be proactive and time intensive. It is time. Here's the reality of real estate. You either have time or money right now, right? Most people who are brand new to real estate have time. They don't have $1,000 a month budget to go spending, and right now in this market economy, I really wouldn't recommend that anyway. So what we wanna do is we wanna use the time. We can be very prospecting based. We wanna be marketing enhanced, but we wanna be prospecting based, okay? So marketing is money intensive, passive, and creates long-term results as well. But we wanna be, this is our layout that we want. We don't wanna build a marketing business and prospecting enhanced. Our database is our number one. Following? Make sense? Awesome. All right, business relationship. So this is an example of tags, and there's a bunch of different options for tags. And just so you know, there are sample tags in the PC drive that you guys can, and tags are up to you. You create your tags in Command and you decide how to segment your database. It's really up to you. So think about your business relationships. So someone who hasn't done any business yet, active clients, past clients, someone who's referred business, VIP, this would be your serial repeat. This would be your sixth level SOI referrer, right? Think about your hobbies and interests, like where are you meeting people? Sometimes you may want to actually send out something that's specific to the people that you've met in a certain area of your life, right? So segmenting them. By property type, what are they looking for? We have buyer and seller in there as a standard tag in Command, but you can get more detailed. I have a vacation rental buyer. I have a vacation rental owner. I have certain complexes. So that's property type. Investors, I have a list of investors. Because if I get a property that it would be interesting to an investor, I'm gonna blast my investors. And I need to be able to pull it up on tags. Make sense? Vendors, always have a vendor list. Create your vendor list, right? What's the communication with vendors? Would you like more business? That's the question. It's pretty simple. Believe it or not, I've had a no. Reality though, most people say yes. Would you like more business? Yes. Excellent. I would love to create a relationship with you. Who's your preferred realtor? Usually they haven't thought about that. Educate them. Excellent. I'm going to bring you business. Would you be willing to refer me business as well? Yes, I would. Wonderful. What do you know who's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? Always ask that question. I asked that question to a painter. He said, you know what? I actually do know someone. Let me tell you who that painter is. He's the guy who painted all of the Keller Williams offices. No one had ever asked him that question before.
Wow.
Think about that for a second. Because no one's ever asked me that before. I go, wait, what? You painted our offices. No one ever asked me that before. Dude's been around realtors. No one's asking. Sometimes it's just asking, right? All right, so think about that. All right, so custom tags. Go ahead and open up your Command. Let's do a custom tag. So log into Command, agent.kw.com, usually the easiest way to get in there. All right, I'm gonna walk you guys through this. I have to do it on my computer, otherwise I'll be lost. Making sure I know where I'm going.
Interesting.
What happened?
I just got a random text from somebody wanting me to sign up for the KW app. I don't even know who it is.
Oh, that's funny.
Is it your, is somebody that you're marketing, practicing?
No, it's someone with a 512 area code.
Okay, so go into click on your name on the top right. Are you guys in Command? Where you got your name and your picture on the top right?
Yeah.
So click on you. click on settings. So click on your name. Oh, no worries. If you click on yourself, your own name,
Yeah.
it'll drop down menu and it'll say settings.
Okay.
So this is your settings. You always want to go in your settings.
Yeah.
When you get into your settings, you're going to go into your command settings and contacts. So, yep, contacts, custom tags.
Where's
You
the
there?
contacts again? I'm
So
still
left
having-
side, so you're gonna be, did you click on you?
Click on you.
Yep,
I'm not
command
in.
settings,
Oh, command, okay. Then
contacts,
okay.
yep, I might not have said that. And then it'll say custom tags under the arrow. So click on custom tags, it'll open up the tags that are already in there. Did it wake up, Morgan?
Custom tags, oh yeah.
Yep, click on custom tags. That's where we want you at, custom tags, because we're gonna create a tag. That's already gonna have some tags in there, yeah?
So we're on the
Get there?
left-hand side,
I'm in Brevity, so.
Oh, got it, okay. Are you in there?
yeah.
Tags? Will you
Custom
get
field,
there?
oh, custom, says custom
Mhm.
fields, custom.
No, custom tags, not custom fields.
Custom
Yeah,
fields,
different,
okay.
different area.
Find it, Morgan.
So, settings, and then on the left-hand side, content.
Did we all get there? Okay, so tell me what's in there for those of you that are there.
Agent,
Agent,
talent,
talent,
allied resource.
what's talent? Talent, what's talent, you guys?
What you're good at.
What's a talent tag?
It's somebody that you might work with.
Yes. You guys ever heard of profit share? It's somebody you did a deal with.
Another agent.
Another agent on the island that might be interested in finding out about Keller Williams. That's what we call talent. Oh, we got a few people on. Kirsten, Crystal, nice. I don't know why I didn't know there were more people on. Okay, so what else under talent? What do we have on there? What's on the list? Allied resource, that would be a vendor. Okay,
Why not call it vendor?
I don't know.
You call it vendor.
They just call them allied resources. All right, what else is in there? I think there's buyer, seller, bought, sold, okay. KW agent, good to know, yeah. Referral partner, excellent. You set up a referral relationship with someone. What else? Downline, yes, so that means you invited someone to Keller Williams, they were interested, they joined, they're in your downline. Yeah,
Awesome.
okay, so let's create a tag. Top right says what? Create tag, and then your screen should look like this. Did you get there, Morgan?
Yes, I got the creative tab.
Perfect, okay.
Oh,
Now, yes. Tom?
This is Tom. I'm sorry, I was fumbling around and I kinda got lost.
Okay, so are you in command?
Yes.
Okay, perfect, so click on your name on the top right, and that should lower down, what do we call those?
Drop down menu.
Thank you, drop down menu. Click on settings. I knew someone would have the word. Click on settings, and then on the left-hand side of your screen, you wanna click on command, and then contacts, and then below that should be custom tags.
Okay, there, okay.
Did you find it?
Great.
Awesome.
Okay.
Everybody else following along on, anybody having a problem on the Zoom? Everybody else in?
Oh, cool. It's right behind your archive.
Okay. I'm assuming that's a thumbs up, we're doing good. Okay, so first of all, pick your color, right? Have fun. So if I were you, I would create a tag that says investor. I mean, to me, that's like the number one, investor and open house. And by the way, when I created my tags originally, I had open house Canadian, open house mainland, and open house Maui, because I wanted to know where they were from, because I had very different communication with people who lived on island to people that lived off island, right? They also have vacation rental, like, hey, they're only interested in vacation rentals. Awesome. So this is an investor, but it's vacation rental, very different than somebody who wants to flip, right? You could have flippers in there. You see how you could go kind of nuts with tags? Right?
You pick a color to associate with that.
I do, yeah.
And then
So you pick your color that you want, you type in what the tag name is, and you create it. It is literally that simple.
Should show up though on your, should it show up on your tag name then?
On your list, once you create it, once you hit create, it should show up on your list.
I just did that too.
You sure you
That
got
might be on your next
Yeah, I was gonna say, you might have 2 pages of
Oh.
tags, because it will go to 2 pages. Did everybody create a tag? Yes.
Oh, there it is.
Awesome. Okay, so, it is in the PC drive, is the recommended tags, there's a bunch of different recommended tags. I'll print some out while you guys are calling and give it back to you for those that are in the room. But it is great to get some tags going, but you're gonna find them. So let's say you're in you're adding a contact and you're like, you know what, this tag should be ABC and I don't have ABC. You can actually create the custom tag within the contact right then and there. It does not have to be created the way you just created it. So we are making your life as easy as possible. Yeah, super awesome. So you guys are gonna be able to create a lot of tags, just to keep everything organized. Okay, so that was your tech demo for the day. All right, so we're gonna talk a little bit about a difference between a lead and a contact. So, any guesses on what the difference is? Or you could just read.
The contact is the person you have interaction with, right? The lead is just someone who's like referred or a name
Yeah.
and
Okay.
information that you get.
You have a right, at least, to have a one-way conversation with them. Yeah, but a contact is somebody that you have a two-way relationship with. 36 to convert, so this is breaking down the 36 to convert and the 19 to connect. So notice what's included in both of these once a quarter. Telephone calls, yes, calls. You always want to be touching people with a personal call. All right.
Do you have a question?
Yes.
Do you in your contacts and these actually call people or do you text more?
I tend to call more. I do have notes on certain people that will never reply if I call, but they'll reply to my texts. So then I will. I'm very much about mirroring and matching, so if somebody's a text-only person, I have no problem doing, I did a deal once, I think I talked to him on the phone 3 times. The rest was all text. He was actually in the industry, he was a rep for one of the escrow companies, so he knew the industry, but he was like, he just wasn't a call person. So I would text him everything I could. Why not? Plus I have a record of communication, so not a bad way to go. But you have to read the person. Like there's certain people there's actually a system where you call people on Monday, then you call on Tuesday, and then you follow it up with a text. Hey, I'm trying to reach you, just wanted to see if everything's okay. And then by Thursday, if you haven't heard from them, then you text them again. So there's strategies behind it, different setups and different ways people do things. They find their conversion rates are much higher. Depends on the people and if you know them really well. I mean, you could be like, did an alien abduct you? I would say stuff like that, So you can do it all different ways. The key is you want to have the communication. So the difference here really is that there's the 12 touches versus the 26 touches, which is a bi-weekly email offering. And then there's still going to be the 2 touches are a little bit different. They're going to be events, get-togethers, and parties. Let's be honest, if someone's never communicating back with you, they're not going to be likely to show up to your party. It's just how it is, right? So this is promotional direct mail, magnets, calendars, market report. And then 1 touch, inviting them to. And this is 4 of the because these people know you, right? This is the contact, so you wanna have a little bit more. And this is where your financial layout comes in, right? Doesn't cost us to email people, doesn't cost us to call people, right? Same thing over here, it doesn't cost us to call people, it doesn't cost us to email people. So these are basically the recommended communications. Does this make sense? Any question? We got it? We're rock solid? All right. We want to definitely build a culture around testimonials and reviews. So what we recommend is that you have, and here's the thing, I want you to think this way. If you do not have a closing yet, can people still give you a testimonial or review? They know you, why not? Yeah, get those things up there, right? Make sure that you're getting them. And when you do have closings, have a system for collecting those. I always say a 5-star review. I'm looking for a 5-star review. If at any time during this transaction you're not feeling I'm giving you 5-star service, I want you to connect with me and let me know. Because I want to fix that immediately. And I won't know unless you tell me. Because at the end, I want to make sure you're ready to write a 5-star review. I set up the expectation right from the get-go. Make sense? All right. Regularly update and improving your database. This is important. These are people that you're going to be connecting with on a long-term basis, right? So there are times that you want to let people go from your database. All right? It's rare, but it does happen, and you want to be smart about it. And if we're not adding,